loves. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Kara's Love Techniques. I'm Coach Kara, and we are here with another relationship video. So I kind of want to talk about, the most common dating or relationship phrases that one would state or make, and it might go over your head. So this is for all of you who are inexperienced or you lack the knowledge of certain terminology that people use while dating or in relationships, okay? Some of them you may have heard, like the most common ones, like, it's not you, it's me. Okay, so what that phrase really means is, it's kind of like an oxymoron. It, regardless of what the issue is, the person really does mean that it's not you. So, for instance, it could be maybe you are a goody two shoes, so to speak, and you're not really into what I'm into. We're kind of in two different worlds. We do things a little differently. So it's not your fault that you are who you are and the way you are. It's just that I'm just not willing to succumb to being that way with you. Or it could be something along the lines of, hey, you're way more serious about this than I am. You're headed towards being in love with me, whereas, I'm just really starting to like you. And because of that, I'm not really in a hurry to catch up to where you are to be on that level. So with that being said, it's really not you. It really is me. I'm just not trying to move that fast. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's you, but it isn't. And I think that's the most confusing part for most people is usually isn't, you're not usually the concern. It's not a concern. It's just there's something about what it is that you have going on that they're not willing to comply with or commit to as of yet, So it's usually something related to that when you hear that phrase. I don't know, you may say, oh, and Kara, we already know these things. Listen, love, I had a bestie back in the day, and one time we were actually hanging out, having a kickback at a guy that she was seeing. He lived out of town, so we went to visit. And he began to state some things, and it was a phrase he used, and I was like, wait, what? And I looked at her, she didn't flinch. It went right over her head. And I said, well, maybe he didn't mean it that way, but he did, because the statement that he made thereafter confirmed that phrase he used. Furthermore, a few minutes later, he used a different type of terminology. And I was like, wait, is she not catching on to this? And later on, I, being the good friend that I am, I'm like, did you get what he was trying to say? No, but I thought he meant no, and he meant this. That's why he stated this thereafter. See, not everyone is as keen and as receptive to certain terms or the way things are put. That's why I'm here, guys. So, and this is why I'm making these videos especially for the more inexperienced persons out there who are trying to date and trying to understand certain lingos and the way people move and things that they say indirectly. And that's what we're trying to decode or break down today. I like decoding things. Yeah. We need a break. All right. So I don't condone taking a break. And the reason why I say that, my loves, is because most people already know what it is that they want. They already know what it is that they want to do. The issue is that they're afraid. And so where the break part comes in is like, I want to break up with you. I just need to be certain that, I'm going to be okay the first few days without you. So, you may take a week, maybe even 2 weeks. Some people take longer than that, which is just so asinine and reckless because, things happen. Yeah. And you may say, oh, well, we need to clear our head. Listen, when you're on your way to work or coming from work, or you have a few moments on the toilet, you're already thinking what it is that you want. But what you need to know is if you're going to be okay being away from this individual, if you're going to miss him or her or yearn for them still. And that's what the test is. It's like it's like the test breakup. That's what it is. So if ever these words are uttered to you, your person is really planning to break up with you. They just need to know that they'll be able to sustain emotionally and mentally, hell, even financially, especially if there are a kid, children or a kid involved. So that's usually what that term means. Let's take a break, let's break up temporarily. Just fill this thing out. And that's exactly what it is. Okay? Because if you really were trying to work through your issues, well, then you would sit and talk about it and be more proactive. It takes being active and doing things differently and in a better manner to make things, make your relationship improve. Yeah, I believe in that. All right. So yeah, that's what that whole "let's take a break" phrase really means. Okay, so I know we've all heard we can hang out, but I'm a little busy right now, or I have a busy work week, or I'm booked with my friends, yada yada yada. You're big. What that says, especially if this has occurred more than twice, that's no coincidence, my love. You are no longer high priority. And should you be concerned? Hell yeah. You should be very concerned when your person begins to blow you off, or they begin to forget certain dates or plans that you've made and kind of like shoves it to the side. Oh, well, we'll make up for it on Sunday. We'll go out, we'll do something, That's not planned. That's like you trying to make up for something. So what that means when you begin to hear, well, I'm too busy, I'm working late. And I really don't like saying this, but it's kind of like a slow fade. They're trying to ease their way out of this relationship, or slowly fade out of your life. That's why it's called slow fade. And if that does happen, accept it. Because what you don't want to find yourself doing is chasing someone who isn't trying to be there for you. I mean, there's very little that you can do when your person begins to blow you off or put you as the fourth or fifth priority. I mean, hell, even your pet comes before you. Your person comes in and immediately wants to take, Scruffles out for a walk. Think about that. Okay? So, yeah. And lastly, this is a very common one. You're too good for me. Now listen, guys. Here's the thing about that phrase. When someone tells you that, you should probably believe them. Back in my more inexperienced days, maybe like a late teen, I think I was like 19, a guy actually told me that. Now, granted, he was really into me, and, the chemistry was there. I was feeling him. But after like a week or so, he's like, you know what? I'm really feeling you or whatever, but I think you're too good for me. I don't want to. I think what he was trying to say is he doesn't want to get me dirty. Perhaps he was into some shenanigans that I wasn't privy to, had a more sinister lifestyle, or was engaging in some sort of activities that I was not aware of. And you know what, my love? I accepted that. You want to know why? Because I dodged one hell of a bullet when I found out why. So I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you so much for being honest and direct with letting me know that I was too good for you. I mean, I wouldn't think that, but what I later found out, I seriously dodged one hell of a bullet. So you should really honor those words. If you don't do anything else, at the very least, honor those words and take heed. When someone says that you're too good for me, and you mainly hear that from a guy, is what I've come to learn. Men are usually more expressive about their worthiness with you. All right. Now, if he felt like he was good enough for you, then he would say something else. It's not you, it's me type of phrase. It would be something more along those lines. But more so than likely, if he says that, he means that shit. Because what guy wants to be seen as less than? Mhm. Only a person that's honest, right? And you have to respect him for that. But when it comes to females, when a female feels as though she may not be on that same level, I won't say that she's not good enough. You know, we all are, for most people, I would say. But she will come off as having, like, not low self-esteem, but poor confidence. And it'll show because she will be uncomfortable, and the energy won't be met with his. And what she's trying to say is, I think you're out of my league, and I really don't know how to express that. And so she'll come off as seeming insecure, or with low esteem or whatever. It'll come off that way only because she really feels that you may be a little too much for her, your lifestyle on a certain level. All right. So, but you'll see that only in body language, that expression. She'll show that through only actions. And big ups to the female who actually has told a guy, look, dude, I think you are just too much for me. Yeah, next. So I wanted to share that with you guys. There are so many other phrases and statements. I just didn't want to cloud your head with all of them all at once. I want you to retain this. I may do a part 2 video for those who are newly and actively dating and you're kind of like inexperienced with certain lingos. I really want to put that out there for you guys, okay? But I hope this has been insightful for you. Hopefully you've learned something today. If you need further consultation, reach out to me. All the information will be linked down below. But that is all for now, my loves. Until next time.